I was going to do a whole bunch of videos on the process of making this dragon doll modification, but I realized it was my first one, and there's a whole bunch of professionals out there, or people who've been doing this for a really long time, who, you know, they have great videos out there. I'll put all their links down below, and I kind of just did a montage and the final project because I didn't feel like I was sufficiently telling people how to do it properly because it was my first time. So here's a kind of like a quick run through of a few months of working on this dragon doll modification. I'm going to apologize about my appearance right now. I just went running and working out, and I'm trying to get stuff before the boys come home from school, and I was like, you know what, I haven't touched the doll modification in a few days, so we have the wings, and alright, so the holes were a little too small, and the next drill bit I have, they would be a little too big, I felt. So what I did was the little part, the wings right here, I just put, they're called brags. You can get them in the scrapbooking section, but pretty much they're just like a little piece of metal right here, comes up with two little prongs, and then once you get it through what you're going through, you push them down. So this can move, and but it's going to hold it in place. So I'm very proud. I might need to maneuver these a little bit more. The brags, I think I need to hit them down a little bit more, but here's the wing. So now that we've got our wings done, we just need to add the vinyl and paint them, the feet. So I've cut in these out in this little, that's the end of the popsicle sticks, and you just put it on an angle. We need, let's see, 6 of these, and then drill holes in all of them. Then I've taken them, and I've taken 3, and this is just easily hot glue. I just wanted to keep them in place. That one's a little wonky. This one's a lot better. I just wanted to keep them in place. Now, over all this, when I'm done, this is kind of just the model part, and then you put sculpting on top of it to really make the foot. So this is just to make the shape of the foot. A dragon's feet are huge, and they have the nails that's come out, and it kind of needs to have a double joint. So I'm gonna add some more. I don't know if you can really see it. There's a little bit things peeking out here and there. I'm liking the green, and I'm liking the pink. I'm just gonna add more texture to the blue, cover up some areas. I'm gonna mix some black and blue so we get a little bit more texture, a little bit darker, and that's what I'm up to. So now it's time for the wings. I looked everywhere for like a vinyl raincoat or heavier vinyl, and I couldn't find any, so I ended up, because we needed a specific blue, I ended up going with just like a dollar store plastic tablecloth. This one has a little bit of texture to it, which I thought would be great. If you look really close, I don't know if you can see all this texture. So once you've laid out the wings, kind of, because it's a huge piece of vinyl or plastic, just cut out a square or rectangle that you need to do the actual piece. Then lay it out, flip it upside down, and lay it out over. It's really hard. You're going to have some wrinkles in it, but once you start gluing down, those wrinkles will go away over time. As you can see, I've already done this one. I thought this super weld was so amazing and hold on so tight, I decided to use that instead of hot glue or any kind of other, Elmer's Extreme. Now, there might be some areas like here along the edges that you need to go in and touch up and use some more glue, kind of fold over some of these edges. On the other side too, I've noticed like little places where I've moved that I'm going to need to touch up, and I could add more texture. Plus, if I feel like I need to add more texture, I could get some sort of spray, maybe add some glitter, depending on how I feel at the final piece on what I need to add to it to add more pizzazz. It's plastic, so as long as you get some sort of spray or any kind of paint that can go on plastic, you should be good. How cute. Let's do our other one. So right now I'm letting the epoxy set on the feet and the legs over here. This was really hard. Okay, so in the video, she drilled holes and put wire through right here but then I was like, this is two-sided epoxy. This is really, really strong, and this doll will be on a stand, so I thought, oh, no, I don't need to do that. Yeah, I probably did need to do that because I had to sit there and hold this until it dried enough for it to stay on its own. Once it dries and everything, see, this is leaning a little bit. Once it dries, I'll add like a ton more epoxy, and then once you get it wired together, then you add this epoxy sculpt. So I think once I get it done, it's going to be strong enough, it'll be fine, but as of putting it together, that was a bad idea. I should have done the wire. Let's take this into consideration. This is definitely my first time doing this. So I masked off the hair. I've been working on it for a while, so it's starting to slip. But I've done the eyes, the lips I'm not done with, and then I'm making these little cheekbones. And some eyebrows in here. Now I've watched several Dollightful tutorials. I picked blue eyes versus, she did like a purple. She's been doing this forever, so you should see what hers looks like. It's out of control, beautiful. And you can follow some on Instagram. There's different people. I'll put some of their links down below for face tutorials, but it's all about layering. So this is just kind of my first layering. I put these little marks on the side. I think it's kind of tribal. I like it. It's just kind of scale-ish on the side. So this is all with watercolor powder, Simple Art chalk pastels, and then these are watercolor pencils. So you can kind of get like really defined, more defined, and then this is for more like blush and kind of shading. And so you switch back and forth, and you can add, I have a little water here, and you can add, I have all different types of brushes, and then you need your gummy eraser is very helpful. You can shape it if you need to get into small areas, but it's very good at taking the chalk off. And then you also want to have a sharpener because you want to get super detailed. And I had trouble with the crevices of her mouth and doing some shading in there. I might go back with like a brush and acrylics. So I finally got Kevin to help me attach the legs. He drilled a little space for the wood to fit and then super glued it in there. So he also added these on so I can attach the wings and get that going. But right now I am going to add on all of her scales. This is roughly what we have. The top part, side scales, front scales. I'll add a lot of texture when I paint this. I need to fix that right boob a little bit. Some texture on the arms and then some scales on the legs. It looks a little rudimentary. I have to smooth a lot out, but it is a good start. I'm still debating whether I want to do something on the arms. She did, but I'm afraid they're going to fall off. They're such thin arms. I'm afraid of weighing it down. And then plus, she has such long hair that I think it's going to cover up most of the arms anyway. The thing that I'm not doing that she did, which is kind of a key part, is the tail. It's super complicated in the video, and this is only my first attempt at doing a doll modification, so I'm not going to do the tail. I'm going to keep an eye out for buying some sort of tail or like making it out of something else. So this has been drying overnight. Now this is plastic and this is air dried clay, so I'm afraid that some things are going to pop off. Obviously this is the whole leg, so none of this is coming off, and it's also attaching itself to wood, but these little guys, as you can see, they come right off. So I'm just going to take some super glue and glue them back on. I'm going to test this. I don't really want to break this, but I might rub some glue in certain areas so it definitely sticks. Alright, so I've put a lot of texture in here now. You can see there's a lot of, I'm really happy with the green. I'm like, so about the legs. The blue was kind of overpowering. I add a little pink to it. I think that blended well. I think I'm going to do a lot more to the feet aspect of it. I'm not very happy with that. So I will probably get my chalk pastels and add a whole bunch of different light texture, a metal rod, heat it up, and make her bangs go in a little bit. And then once I spray the body, it's dried, I will attach the head. And and then the wings, and then she'll be done. So we made her a little loincloth and a book, and she has wishes in here. I don't know if you can see, but she has little wishes in her thing. And maybe we'll put her in a different way to display. But as of right now, she's going to stay here and be chilling right there.